Hello everyone, hi. Welcome to everyone to the Year 8 Options Evening 2024. We've also got some people joining us online for this session, so welcome to you too. I am Miss Marks and this is Miss Evans. We are the school timetablers and we can be contacted on the email address above, so options@kingsdale.southwark.sch.uk. And if you've got any queries as a result of this, then please do send us a line on that email. We're really excited to kind of formally launch the options process for Year 8s. We know it's a really kind of exciting and potentially nerve-wracking time. And so what we're going to do is talk you through the nuts and bolts of the process, talk you through a little bit about Sims Online, and then we're going to have a talk from Mr. Jones about the trip to Paris. So exciting. Although this evening is the formal launch of the options process, it has already begun. You should already have received the options booklet, which gives information about each subject and things like the options blocks. If you've not received that, just please email us. We've sent out the link to Sims Online, which is our online options portal. Again, please email us if you haven't received that once you've checked your junk folder. There is ongoing support after this evening, both from subject teachers who we really encourage students to talk to, but also from tutors who obviously can give this sort of pastoral overview of what might be a good approach for individual students as a whole. Heads of learning are always happy to talk. Students have had presentations and assemblies particularly from the new subjects that they might not have studied before, and there are also a range of taster sessions offered in the coming weeks, which we'll give you details of in a second. So you've got quite a while for all of this. You've got just over a month, but we do need all of the options in by the 15th of April. That gives us a chance to look through them, respond to any queries and kind of build the timetable. So let's just briefly outline what it is that you're choosing and what it is that you're kind of doing. So in Year 9, students continue with their Key Stage 3 studies, but with some additions and kind of as a foundation year for going on to their GCSEs in Year 10 and 11. So they continue with their core subjects, so English, Maths and Science, PE, Citizenship, RE and IT. All of those are studied by everyone in Year 9. So although you can talk to people about those options this evening, they're not things that you'll be choosing to do or not do yet. And then there are the options. So everyone needs to pick one language, which they then study for 3 hours a week in Year 9. They pick one subject out of history and geography in the humanities block. And then they pick 2 subjects in the options block, which has a real range of different subjects in it, and I will explain them in a second. Years 10 and 11 look quite similar to Year 9. The amount of hours that students study per subject per week changes a little bit. The main difference is obviously that the GCSE courses begin in earnest, and also at the end of Year 9, so in a year and a bit for you guys, the current Year 8s, you pick between Citizenship and RE, and this is then taken as a GCSE in Year 10. So everyone does Citizenship and RE in Year 9, but then at the end of Year 9 they choose between those 2 subjects, and it's then done as an early GCSE in Year 10. The only other thing that happens in Year 10 is students are placed into either a combined or a triple science class. So that's basically determining the level to which students will study science. And that's done in consultation between the science faculty, students and parents. Again, that is not something that you need to think about or worry about in Year 8. OK, so let's just dig into the options blocks in a bit more depth. So the first block is the languages option block. Students should pick one option from those 4 languages, then one option from history or geography. In some kind of specific and fairly narrow circumstances, students don't study either a language or humanities. It may not be appropriate for them and they may need some extra support. And so we do offer English, Maths and Science support during instead of a language or a humanities option, but that's only in a small handful of cases. In the vast majority of cases, we strongly encourage students to study a language and either history or geography. If you think your son or daughter they could do with some extra support in English, maths or science, please indicate that in the comments box when you fill out your options form. The final options block is the biggest, and that basically contains all of the subjects, all of the option subjects. So that includes languages and humanities. So you can do 2 languages or both history and geography. It also includes all of our creative, performing arts subjects, and then the subjects like economics, psychology, sociology, which students can just start to study from year 9. Unless you're an arts scholar, you can't do 2 creative arts. So those 4 art subjects at the top, unless you're an art scholar, you can't pick 2 of those.
Okay, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about how you physically choose your options. So you should now have received a link to our Options Online programme via Sims Online. From tomorrow, this will go live with the option choices for your students. So you will see a page that looks like this with your child's face on it, their name, the date of birth, all of those details. Below it, it will have the different options that you can select. So it goes in the same blocks that Miss Marks has just gone through. So first of all, you'll have one that looks like this, that has got your language options on it. It's really easy to pick. You just click on the name of the subject that you want your child to do, and then it turns blue. And that's it. You don't have to do anything else. You do the same with option block 2. Each option block has got bits of information on there, so it will tell you exactly how many subjects to choose, what to think about when choosing them, and if you need to do anything else when picking something from that block. The last block here, the option block that's bigger, looks like this. From this, we're asking you to pick 2 main subjects, 2 firm choices. And when you click on those names, they turn blue. We also ask you to pick a reserve. In a very small number of cases, there might be a reason that we can't run a subject for a particular year. It almost never happens, but better to be safe than sorry. So can you pick 1 additional choice by clicking on the reserve button that's on the right-hand side next to the subject name? That will turn orange, and so when you see 2 blues and 1 orange, it means you've picked everything correctly from this block. You can then just click save. You don't need to submit or anything like that. Just saving it will allow your choices to be sort of sent through to us. Nothing more needs to happen after that. We've got a comment box here for you. So if you do have any queries about it, you do want your child to try and do an extra GCSE, you want to know something more about a subject, please do fill in the comment box. You won't hear back from us immediately. So it might be the case that, you want to know if your child can do GCSE PE as well as 2 other subjects or something like that. We'll need to wait until we start building the timetable, and we've got everyone's options in before we can see if that would be a viable choice for your child. So it's likely to be sort of maybe June before you hear from us. But if you put a comment in there, we will get back to you and we will discuss any queries with you. So we are offering some taster sessions because we know there are lots of new exciting subjects that your child may not have done before. So between the 11th and the 19th of March, we will have taster sessions running for Year 8 students, either during their lunch break or after school. So if it's during lunch break, that is a 12 p.m. start. If it's after school, then that's a 4:10 start. We will send around the PowerPoint from this presentation afterwards, so you'll have a copy of this. It's also going into next week's parental news bulletin, so you'll have it there as well. And I'll make sure that the Year 8 team and tutors are reminding their tutees about the forthcoming sessions, because we don't want them to miss out. Just a few other sort of bits of information for you. The deadline for this is the 15th of April, so that's the end of the Easter holidays. If you're having trouble getting onto the forms or anything like that, please do email us at options@Kingsdale. There is a small chance some subjects might not run. like, for example, say sort of only 1 or 2 people chose a subject, then that wouldn't be viable for us to run it. There might occasionally be sometimes where we can't fit in everyone's first choices. In all of these instances, we'll get in contact with you. We'll never just pick random choices for your child and say, here's their timetable for next year. We'll keep you aware of what's going on. And towards the end of the summer term, we'll send you an email with a clear sort of outline of what your child's options are for next year. So you can get back to us and say thanks, or, oh no, that's completely wrong. Okay, and then we know that we're getting students to pick a little bit earlier than some other schools, but we do this for a couple of reasons. So year 9 is still very much a key stage 3 year. It gives students the opportunity to sort of start building up foundation skills in the option subjects that they're choosing. Because it's still a foundation year, and because we know we're making you choose a bit earlier, we give you some flexibility. So we do allow students to change their mind. If they do think that they're struggling with a subject or not enjoying it as much as they thought they were going to do, then we ask that you email us as early as possible. In the first half term, it's really easy to change your options. That's not a problem at all. As you get a little bit further into the foundation year, there's more work for students to catch up on. So, you know, the earlier you think you might want to change your mind, get in contact with us, but we will be flexible until the summer term and let you sort of freely change your options until that point. The only caveat with that is if you've changed your mind sort of later in the year, it might be that an option you want to move into is full, and so that might sort of potentially limit you. So the earlier you decide to change, then the sooner you can let us know, the better. And then some advice on how to pick. So students should be thinking about what are they good at, what do they enjoy doing, what subjects are they doing well in, what do sort of the people who are important to them think about it, what do their parents, their peers, their older people who influence their lives think about it. How is the course assessed? Does it suit the way that I learn? You know, some of them are very heavy in terms of writing exams and require long essay answers. Some of them require a lot of coursework. Not everything suits every child. So read through the information that was provided in the booklet that's sent to you. Speak to the teachers on the stands about what the exams are like and think about what will best suit you. And then also think about what your future plans are. How not to choose. Don't pick because you like the teacher. There's no guarantee you'll have that teacher again next year. That's a mistake I made with A-level chemistry. What are my friends doing? Don't pick because all of your friends are doing it. There's nothing in that column I want to do, so I just pick something randomly, take the time to speak to teachers about it instead, think what might work for you. Don't pick it because your parents said to. You know, think about if something's really important to you, speak to your mum and dad about it and convince them that actually, no, that is something you should be doing. Okay, that is everything from Miss Marks and I. We're going to hand over to Mr. Jones now for his infinitely more interesting presentation about the Paris trip.
Thank you very much, Miss Marks and Miss Evans. I would add on to that I think that the early options that we offer at this school are a really positive part of the school's offer. I know for many of you it will feel like your child has literally just started secondary school and here they are narrowing down their options, but we think that the benefits that come from this, from teachers who have taught year 9 in various other schools and seeing how sometimes that would be a bit of a lost year for students doing subjects that they know they're not going to do for GCSEs. So being able to choose in year 8 really values the voice of the child. They can go, right, I'm going to do this subject. These are the subjects that I like. And whilst also giving them the flexibility to, if they decide that actually early on they don't like it, then we allow them to choose. The other massive benefit for us is that rather than, let's say, for some subjects, having 1 lesson a week, which as a music teacher, that's what I get in year 8, or as an art teacher, as a drama teacher, for an option subject, you get 3 lessons a week in year 9. So the difference between 1 lesson a week, let's say if we didn't do options in year 9, to having 3 lessons of art a week before you start your GCSEs in year 10 is so much more beneficial. Or for example, let's say you're doing psychology, something that you would have only just started in GCSE in year 10. Having a whole year of doing psychology before starting your GCSEs is something that can only be beneficial. So we think it's a really important and valuable part of our curriculum offer. Now, having said that, I'm doing some quick information about the Key Stage 3 awards trip because I recognise this is the first opportunity that I've had to present to people. Whilst we have opened and closed the registration and people have been registered for the trip already, you can still join the waiting list. The waiting list is very small and it is probably incredibly likely that waiting list, everyone on the waiting list will end up going anyway. So even if you haven't registered and you maybe decide, or your child decides, actually, I maybe want to go, do you mind seeing if I could get a place? Please feel free to email us so we can add you to that waiting list. Just to give you an idea, if you are already on the list or if you're not yet aware, we're going in September. We're doing it over 2 weeks. There isn't a place in the world that will take 340 children in one go. And we can't do it in the summer as you normally would. And if you want to blame anyone, blame the Olympic Committee for holding the Olympics in Paris this year. It's their fault, not mine. We talked about other cities, but none of them offer the same excitement. So on the first day, we have a very rough start at 6 a.m. in the morning where we get picked up by the coach. Last year, there was a very rough crossing on a ferry, which is one of my favourite parts of the day. That literally they wouldn't let you walk around the ferry. You had to stay sat down because it was tilting so much. I'm sure it will be fine this year. Dinner is provided. We get a lovely French school meal at the accommodation. The second day, we have a wonderful day of sightseeing in Paris. We go up the Eiffel Tower. We go on a boat ride on the Seine. We explore the Artists' Quarter in Montmartre, and we have a lovely meal at a Parisian restaurant near the Arc de Triomphe in the evening. And then we return exhausted to our hotel. And obviously, the students are too tired to do day 3, so we skip on to day 4, where we go to a lovely old French town. Day 3, we have a full day at Disneyland where we give them, where they get 2 meal tickets, which inevitably they spend in the first hour, and then come to us crying and hungry by 7 o'clock in the afternoon. And they get access to 2 parks with that. That's the Disneyland park and the other park that's next to it that I can't remember. I think it's, someone might know. It's Warner. It's not Warner Brothers. It's the other. It's Pixar. Whatever it is. There's 2 theme parks there, and they have access to both of them. And we leave after the fireworks. There was a drone show last year, which was particularly good. Yeah, day 4, again, we get a packed lunch provided. All of the meals are included. So the cost of the trip is everything that is actually needed. Obviously, some people may want to bring additional spending money, but you don't need any. You can go just with yourself and your belongings, and you will be absolutely fine. So here are some frequently asked questions. We have already reserved book places, but the waiting list is short. We understand that the cost is a lot. This is unfortunately a reality of taking people abroad now. When we first started doing this 10 years ago, it was about 350. As you can imagine, inflation, etc., has brought costs up. We are keen that everyone that wants to go is able to go. So we not only offer discounts for free school meals and pupil premium students, we also offer payment plans for anyone. So if you need to spread the cost over the course of 12, 24, 36 months, we are happy to do that. Rooms are in 3s or 4s for students. We will be asking them in the summer term who they want to have, who they want to room with, and also asking if they have a preference of which week they go on as well, of the 2 weeks. But we do reserve the right to withdraw places. My main criteria for this will be students who are not engaging in the sanction system. So if you have a massive build-up of detentions and have not been doing anything to clear them off, or if I have concerns about safety or safeguarding, then that would be another reason why I might withdraw a place. I know that there have been some issues with the payment system. It's a new system that I am not as competent with yet at the moment. Please do not worry about deadlines at the moment. I will be continually communicating to hopefully resolve those. But that, I think, is everything. Miss Marks, Miss Evans and I will be around if you have any questions. Please do go and ask many more questions of our fantastic staff out on the tables and ask questions about all the subjects that your child will be excited about doing. Thank you very much.